Real estate can be a confusing topic if you don't have much experience with it. There are a lot of terms that are thrown around often, and you might not always know what they mean. So today, we're going to cover a few basic real estate terms that you'll run into when you're selling or purchasing a property. Hi, my name is Tyree Schaefer, and these are a few basic real estate terms that you'll run into on your next transaction. First up is an appraisal. An appraisal is an estimate by an expert about the value of real estate. This can be done for a lot of reasons, but generally it's for a lender to determine how much they're willing to loan you. This is usually done during escrow after you've agreed on a purchase price. If the appraised value is equal to or above the purchase price, then your loan should go through alright as long as you meet all the other requirements. If the appraised value is below the purchase price though, your lender likely isn't going to approve the amount that they previously authorized you for. And in this case, the difference between the purchase price and the appraised value is going to be due as an additional cost at closing. When this happens, you have a couple of options. The first option is to come up with the cash to cover that difference. You could also go back to the seller and renegotiate to lower the purchase price. You should note though that this is going to work best when the buyer has some sort of negotiating power. In today's market, where we have a seller's market, it may not be so likely that the seller is willing to negotiate. But if you're in a buyer's market, they might have a little more incentive to do so. And the last option, if you're unwilling or unable to cover that difference, as long as you have your appraisal contingency in place, you can cancel the transaction. Generally, when you have a more balanced market, appraisals won't come in as low. It's usually a problem when you have a hot seller's market. In these types of markets, you have a lot of people trying to outbid each other and can go above the list price. And in this case, it's much more likely that you're going to be paying above what the house is actually worth. So when you're thinking about buying a house, work with your agent to make sure that you're making an offer that works for you. Our next term is a down payment. If you're taking out a loan to buy your home, the down payment refers to the money that you're paying up front. And this amount is going to vary depending on your financial situation. Generally, the more money you put down, the lower risk you are for defaulting on the loan and for canceling the transaction. So this makes you an attractive buyer for both sellers and lenders. You shouldn't let it scare you too much though if you don't have a lot of money to put down. A lot of people think that you have to put 20% down on a house, but that's not always the case. There are plenty of down payment assistance programs and loan programs out there, and you can put down as little as $0 on a house. You'll want to do your research though, because all of these programs have different eligibility requirements depending on your financial situation and other demographic characteristics. It's also important to note that if you are putting less than 20% down, you'll be required to pay private mortgage insurance. This extra fee is added into your monthly payment and it acts as protection for the lender since loans with lower down payments are higher risk for them. The bottom line here is to do all of your research before figuring out how much you're going to put for a down payment because it can be different for everyone. Our next term is equity. Equity is the difference between what your home's market value is and what you owe on your loan. So if your home is worth $1 million and you still have $600,000 left to pay off on your mortgage, you have equity of $400,000. And this equity is yours to borrow from or use towards another purchase if you sell. Your equity is likely going to grow over time, and there are a couple ways this happens. The first is home value appreciation. This occurs naturally depending on the market, so as long as your mortgage balance isn't increasing, your equity will increase as your home value appreciates. The second way to increase your equity is to pay off your mortgage. Since equity is the difference between the value of your home and the balance of your loan, paying off your loan will decrease that loan balance and therefore increase your equity. So again, by growing your equity, you increase your net worth and your ability to make other purchases with that money. Another term is market value. This is what a piece of real estate is worth, and this is determined by supply and demand as well as other market forces. Things like location, square footage, and a property's age are big influences on what it's worth. By comparing these and other characteristics to those of recently sold properties, you can determine what a specific property's market value is. Market values are always changing though, so the fewer sales there are in an area, the harder it's going to be to determine the true market value. But luckily, the opposite is also true, so if you have more sales in an area, it'll be easier to determine that value. And those are a few of the most basic real estate terms. Let me know in the comments if there are any other terms you want me to clarify, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. As always, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me through Instagram or email. They're both linked down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.